And then now it seems like everywhere I go, people are talking about they've seen a shadow person. Like you said, that corner of the eye, the experience that you have, like they see an entity or something in the corner of their eye flickering, and then they don't see it yet. I hear about that all the time now.
Yeah, and it's at that point, if a person has a flickering or a shadow person, a corner of the eye experience. I love what Lynn Marzulli said here in Roswell when he was talking about his UFO sighting. He walked away from it with the knowledge, rebuke first, ask questions later.
Right.
And because if you don't, you will get fascinated by it, and you will get taken up, in a mental sense. I mean, but you'll get involved, and you'll become attached to it, or it'll become attached to you. And that same is true of the shadow corner of the eye experience. We really want your listeners to know, don't get yourself to the fascination stage by studying it and proving it and waiting for it and filming it and watching it. That is only going to lead to the infestation, where you got a whole swarm of paranormal activity that you can't drive out. At the very beginning, at the manifestation, the corner of the eye or the shadow experience, start rebuking, cast it out in the name of Jesus. You need to know now that this stuff is wrong. You need to know that it's dangerous. You need to know that it's evil, and you need to treat it as such. If it comes around, to even just the corner of your eye or your life experience, the church in general, you and I, programs exactly like what you're doing now, are to edify and educate you that this stuff is evil. It's paranormal. You need to rebuke it at the first sign. Don't get fascinated by it, or you will become infested by it.
Now, do you believe that the infestation can lead to direct possession, and what should a Christian do if they believe that somebody they know has their home has been infested, or if they believe that someone they know has been actually possessed? What steps should they take, giving something as drastic as infestation or direct possession?
We always kind of try to teach people, don't jump to the most paranormal explanation first. Just because someone's involved with someone, you got to be careful to not be a bigot, to not be an idiot, and to not be jumping to a conclusion by thinking they're possessed. First and foremost, you really got to have some massive evidence that either that something alien, UFO, paranormal is going on in your life or in that of someone else. Go through the natural explanations first. We spent a lot of time at this symposium talking about doctors, psychiatrists, and all that before you jump right into deliverance, laying on of hands. But I would say most Christians in general really aren't. If you're talking to the full-scale possession, the manifestation, all that stuff, you got to be careful of what Jesus said. This kind of demon goeth out not except by prayer and fasting. I believe, in my heart and at the basis, every born-again Christian has the full authority to do the miracles of Jesus and to cast out demons, heal the sick and everything. But more and more you'll see within the body of Christ is people are gifted, and God draws them into these experiences one after another to learn, to give them learning, education, and experience. And with experience comes faith and boldness. Where if you think someone, unless you are already an experienced person who has done this type of casting out before, and unless you have a lifestyle that involves a lot of prayer and fasting, probably it wouldn't be best for you to jump into that situation, but to ask around, pray, and seek God about someone in your area who is. You can say deliverance minister if you want to, but that has its own cottage industry and negative attachments with it too. But if you believe someone is experiencing it and needs that type of help, the first thing, I'm not going to tell you to go to the yellow pages or the internet. Those might help, but you need to start by praying first for that person. And if you're going to be called to help, who can you bring to that person that really has both the spiritual maturity and the experience to do them some real help. And you're going to have to be ready to preach the gospel, plain and simple. If you want to see someone get delivered, they've got to hear the gospel. You may not be the one that's prayed up and fasted enough to drive out massive demons in full-scale possession, which are very rare. I think most of us in our Christian life will never actually meet someone who this is true of, by the way. I don't want to make it sound like this is, common everyday stuff. It is across the world, but we're not going to run into it regularly. But you may not be the person that has the deliverance ministry angle for that person, but as a Christian, it is always your responsibility to be ready to share the gospel with anybody at a drop of a hat. And that's going to be the first step to that possessed person being set free, is that they hear and believe the gospel.
I agree. We have about 4 minutes left, so I want to thank you for a great show. Thank you for being a guest on the show. You're definitely invited back to be a guest anytime.
Thanks.
I was just going to say, Brother Malone, can you, in the short time, give out any websites or any books that our callers or readers, listeners can pick up with yours?
Yeah, I actually do. My site, as you know, is alienstranger.com, and that links to most of my other websites in this field. We've spent a lot of time talking about Joe Jordan tonight. I do want to let people know that if you go to alienresistance.org right now, we have this Amazon widget up for Joe Jordan's first book in this field. It's coming out in April. It's David Ruffino and Joe Jordan wrote it together. It's mostly written by David, retelling a lot of Joe's cases. So there's a book coming out, Unholy Communion, that comes out this April, but you can pre-order it or at least read about it right now from alienresistance.org. And, since you asked about books, my wife's book also on alien abduction, The Bible, Physics, and the Abilities of Fallen Angels, there's a link to that book, either in hard copy or you can read that for free on the Internet, as well as mine has always been. Those are both up on alienresistance.org right now. And just tell people to keep an eye on RoswellUFOFestival.com for what we're going to be doing with Joe Jordan, Josh Giles, myself, and maybe some others right here in Roswell during the summertime, whenever you guys are ready to come. If you can't make it, I would at least encourage people to go to ChristianSymposium.com and consider getting 1 or 2 lectures or the DVD set, because I really honestly believe that what we did this year is the best conference and the best Christian equipping tool you can have for yourself on this topic, as well as you can confidently share it to a pastor, or share and give it to a pastor who's not familiar with this stuff.
All right. We got about 2 minutes left. I just want to let everybody know we were talking to Guy Malone. He just shared all his contact information. We've had a great show. We enjoyed you being on the show. For those that want to keep up on everything that's going on, you can find a link to his website on my website, ministerfortson.com. You can go directly to his website, alienstranger.com, and keep up on everything going on with him in Roswell. Again, replay this back, tell people about it. Definitely pray up, stay prayed up if you're researching these things. Like you said, use common sense. Run through the natural explanations first, and definitely use your best judgment. Don't get drawn. So we want to thank you again for coming on. And as I said before, you're definitely invited back anytime. Just contact me, and we'll set it up.
Well, thank you, and God bless you and anybody hearing these words tonight.
All right, great. God bless you, too. And thanks again.
Bye. Yeah, bye-bye, brother.
All right, you too.